gotta fix all these. I gotta fix all these titles. 21 through 31. 21 through 31. Save. Let's play a song. I'm going to play a song while I go through and fix all the titles on my old past Bible streams, because
I found a free print-on-demand Shopify.
Quiet. Quiet.
They say that I'm reckless. I know that I'm reckless. My energy's infectious. I got heaven on my checklist. I know that I'm reckless.
Look, I know that I'm reckless. I'm getting people mad with my flow. Catch this heat. Wow. Now. Get off the meat and drink milk. About that life. About that crime. Sound nice. That's Texas. I know that I'm reckless. My energy is infectious. I got heaven on my checklist. I know that I'm reckless. Look, I know that I'm reckless. I praise God, I'm praising the priest. Sorry, I'm going through fixing all my titles. We gotta go all the way through Psalms. I gotta earn my crown. I gotta be reckless. I gotta be wow. Where? He made me new again. 120. Acting like a fool again. And that's Texas. I know that I'm reckless. 100.
I got heaven on my checklist. I know that I'm reckless.
I know that I'm reckless. I know that I'm reckless. I'm reckless.
Your perfect domain.
Sorry, guys. One moment. What up, re-examination? I gotta fix all these titles. 100. I don't got no time for the games. I'm a Christian, but don't test me. I don't play. 90? All my brothers 10 toes down in this the game. Mess around to find out this Christian don't play. I got the hands on me lights out. I ain't a Christian, but I ain't no punk. I don't smoke weed and I never get drunk. 51 to 70. Yeah, 70. Why would I turn down? 6 feet. 51 through 70. And the other one. 31 through 50. Ah, 50. Mess around to find out this Christian don't play. Get out my way, I got road rage. 50, 31 to 50. 21 to 30. Real time. What you do in this life is a tryout, and you better give it your all till you sign out. Look, I used to be a big dummy, did it, lived the life of the crime, living my life in my prime. Sorry, I ain't got the time, I ain't casting my pride on the swine. No time for the games. I'm a Christian, but don't test me. I don't play. I heard that you believe in him. Do you obey? All my brothers 10 toes down in this the gang. Mess around to find out this Christian don't play. I'm a Christian, but don't test me. I don't play. I heard that you believe in him. Do you obey? All my brothers 10 toes down in this the gang. Mess around to find out this Christian don't play. Hold on, one more. I gotta find one more. 1 through 21 to 31. There's 21 to 30. And then 1 through 20. 1 through 20. 1 through 20. Where is it? Here we go. 1 through 20. Okay. I think that's it. And then I have to do something else before I leave today. We're going to debut the Florida video today. I have it all done and it's ready to go. I just got to set up the premiere. Okay, Job is all good. Okay, cool. All right. All right. Okay. I think we can begin now. One of my favorite books of the Bible. Ecclesiastes. The author, based off Jewish tradition and scholars, most likely Solomon. Since it starts out, the words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Israel, or king of Jerusalem. Probably Solomon, most likely Solomon. According to tradition, it's Solomon. The teacher, preacher, has traditionally been identified as Solomon because only he was the son of David, king of Israel and Jerusalem, who achieved great fame for his wisdom, wealth, and achievements. According to Jewish tradition, Solomon wrote the Song of Songs in his youth, Proverbs in his middle years, and Ecclesiastes in his old age. That makes sense. Following this that definitely makes sense. Following this line of reasoning, he would have written this book about 935 BC. 935 BC. This is pre-Babylon. The major theme, without God, all of life is vanity. I'm reading this from the Orthodox Bible, the Orthodox Study Bible, because it has these cool... should I take this cover off so that I don't mess it up? I like this cover. Maybe I'll keep the what's it called? What's this plastic cover thing called? Background: Early Judaism accepted the book as holy and read it on the third day of the Feast of Tabernacles. The early church identified Solomon as the author, and some included the book in the list of books to be read in the churches. See St. Athanasius, Festal Letter 39, St. Augustine, Christian Doctrine, BK 28. Everything human is vain, for it is without profit. So that's what the beginning of chapter 1 talks about. There is no profit under the sun. It's uppercase profit. There is no profit under the sun. So chapters 2 through 12 talk about that. And then chapters 12 through 14, fear God and keep his commandments. Pretty simple. Simple stuff. So there's 12 chapters in this. I'd like to knock it out in one day, but I'm starting a little late. The Dust Jacket, that's what it's called. Which is nicer, the book or the cover? The book, but I like the book better without the dust jacket, but I want to protect it from dust. So I think I'm going to keep the dust jacket on it. All right. Chapter 1. I'm just looking real quick, comparing to see if this is much different. Okay. Ecclesiastes, or the Preacher. Chapter 1. The book of Ecclesiastes. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Oh, and words here can be understood as collected sayings. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All that is, everything in life that is apart from the purpose for which God created us is vanity. 1, 2. Verse 8. Verse 8, all things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. There's no new thing under the sun. How many times is, I knew that was in the Bible, but is it in the Bible multiple times? Like, what profit a man of all his labor, which he hath taken under the sun? Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath already of old time, it hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrances of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. I, the preacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I like that. I communed with mine own heart, saying, lo, I am come to great estate. and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. In much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. That's true. That's so true. That's like the opposite of saying ignorance is bliss. It's more of a modern I don't believe in laws of attraction, but it's almost like the world takes the negative aspect of it. They say ignorance is bliss. But Solomon says, in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. I mean, they both sound negative, but once you can see, that's why Jesus wept, because he saw, he could see. 100% nailed it. Ignorance is bliss. A sad face does the heart good. A sad face does the heart good. The continuity of nature gives us assurance of the unfortunate uniformity of nature over time. God apologetic point for the future being like the past. Good apologetic point. Good apologetic point for the future being like the past. Yeah, the uniformity of nature. Yep. Chapter 2. I said in mine heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? What do they mean by mirth? What is mirth? Mirth. Mirth in the Bible. Joyous celebration, laughter, and gladness. I said in mine heart, go to now, and I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainted mine heart with wisdom, and to lay hold of on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works, I builded me houses, I planted me vineyards. I made me This seems like different writing than Solomon, but well, according to this, it's different times in his life, so maybe he just wrote differently. But he never talks like this. I made me great works. I builded me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kind of fruits. I made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle, above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I gat me men singers and women singers, and delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. Whew. Whew, that's fire. That's crazy. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. Wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happeneth to them all. Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, that this also is vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise, more than of the fool forever. Seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man? As the fool. Whoo-hoo. How dieth the wise man? As the fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me, for all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. Did all of this just to leave it to the next king. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yeah, this is like politics. You build up, well, democratic politics. You build up the country and then you leave it to the next guy. And who knows if he's going to be wise or a fool? He might just destroy it all. I like that. And who knoweth whether he shall be... I hated all my labor, which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. So true. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored, therein shall he leave it for his portion. This also is vanity and a great evil. For what hath man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. There is nothing better, there is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it was from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who else can hasten hereunto more than I? For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy. But to the sinner he giveth travail to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before God. This also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Is this 12 chapters? Solomon sounds different delivering narratives than delivering proverbs. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, he also sounds different when he's writing from a first person perspective of a woman. Assuming, well, never mind. I don't want to get into that right now. Where were we? Chapter 3? These must be short chapters. Well, it's 12 chapters. They're decent size, actually. Chapter 3. To everything. Let me see if there's any notes I need to be reading. Where are we at? 1, 8 through 11. Even the human quest for knowledge and wisdom proves fruitless because man cannot remember what he learned. Nothing new contrasts with the Old Testament prophets who proclaim a new covenant. Nothing new, verse 9, contrasts with the Old Testament prophets who proclaim a new covenant created in Christ. The preacher is about to explain why he has come to this conclusion. Despite his pessimism, the preacher knows that God is indeed at work in the world, and only he can make the crooked straight. True wisdom is Christ, 17 and 18, whose mercies are far beyond our understanding. 2, 1 through 3. The preacher spoke in his heart because the heart is the center of our true self. It is the center of good or vanity, affection and coldness, mercy and hardness, wisdom and folly, reason and confusion. Okay. Let me turn this page. Man can choose wisdom or foolishness, light or darkness, good or evil. Uh-oh. Where's that? 213? How do they get that from that? Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly as far as light excelleth darkness. Chapter 3. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. Oh, this is one of my favorite parts too. See, I think like I've never read Ecclesiastes. Of course I've read this before. A time for everything and everything in its time. I talk about this all the time. I didn't even know this was in Ecclesiastes. I'm sure I did at some point. I just forgot, but yeah. What's up, Agrippalus? Chapter 3. This is a time for everything and everything in its time. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. And also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God doeth it, that men should fear before him. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. I said in mine heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every purpose and for every work. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing befalleth them. As the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. All go unto one place, all are of dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion, for who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? Nice. Hold on a second. My highlighter's going to run out while I'm doing this. These highlighters are no good. They did not last very long. Okay. What's up, Avarice? And a time to get kicked out of Bible study at home. Stop cussing, Avarice. This is PG chat. And that with will be an avarice. And for the next, God released an avarice unto JS Bible study. What are you talking about? That's blasphemy. All right. Chapter 4. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they which hath not yet been, who hath not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Again, I considered all travail and every right work. For this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Woo! Better is an handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother. Yet is there no end of all his labor, neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity. Yea, it is a sore travail. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. But with God, or through Christ, we're never alone. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Based. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. I considered all the living which walk under the sun, which the second child that shall stand up in his stead, with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Just reading some of this. Job expressed a similar sentiment of being oppressed when he wished that he had never been born to see such sorrow. But Christ has sent a comforter, the Holy Spirit, to wipe away all tears. Verse 2 speaks of the communion of the saints. Verse 2 speaks, 4:2, wherefore I praise the dead which are already dead more than the living which are yet alive. Communion of the saints. What's up, Rowdy Gowdy? Don't count the days, make the days count. You so corny. Did I just drop coffee on my... Yeah, I need to take this out of my lap. I just closed my windows. Okay, fixed it. All right. Put my stuff straight. I don't know what that means, Auntie. Where are we? Chapter 5. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God, for God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Woo-hoo. Therefore, let thy words be few. I like that. Even though I am a streamer and I just talk constantly, but still, I like that. All that happened after I called you. I know, I got cursed. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words. That's kind of like walk the walk, don't talk the talk. Don't talk the talk, walk the walk. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. And that's what's the girl's name? What's the guy's name? It's not Hezekiah. It's Japheth. Was it Japheth who made a vow that he would kill the next person that came through the gates, and it was his daughter, and he had to kill her? Shem, Ham, and Japheth. I don't know if that was Japheth. Who's the guy in the Bible that had to kill his daughter because he made a foolish vow to God? And then the point was proven. Be careful what you don't be swearing to God. No, I'm going to do it. I swear to God. Don't play with God like that. Who in the Bible had to stone his daughter? Didn't he stone her to death? Jephthah. I said Japheth. I was close. Yeah, that guy. He said he would sacrifice whoever came through the door. Yeah. And people, I've heard atheists bring that up, and they're like, well, God saved Isaac, but he didn't save Jephthah's daughter. Jephthah. Yeah, well, that's because Jephthah shouldn't be making vows like that. He learned his lesson. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than thou shouldest vow and not pay. See, it's better for you not to swear to God or make a vow or make a promise to God. It's better to not do that than to do it and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. I like this part. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words, there are also diverse vanities. But fear thou God. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. And profit there, but so the Orthodox Bible uppercases it, which is odd. Because I feel like if it's uppercase, it's like it's talking about a prophet. But it's not. It's talking about reaping benefits, right? What is this? 5'9"? 6'7"? No, I'm just kidding. 5'9". Let me see. Let me do a little comparing here. 5'9". This is not right. What? He who loves silver will not be satisfied with silver. Wait, this is not right. It skips. The Orthodox Bible skips a verse. So, hold on. Let's go from 8. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter, for he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Verse 8 here says, moreover, the abundance of the earth is for all. Even a king depends on the. If you see the oppression of the poor. Oh, this is way different. Huh. So, he that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. He that loveth silver will not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loves the harvest with its abundance. This is also vanity. So, So this is way different. So verse 8 in the King James is verse 7 in the Orthodox. What would I call this? The Septuagint? So this is King James is a Masoretic, right? Orthodox is Septuagint. Which translation is the EOSB? I don't know. I thought it was just called the Septuagint. It's it skips a Orthodox Study Bible, St. Athanasius Academy Septuagint. Is that what it's? New Testament text, New King James Version. So the New Testament, Old Testament text, the Old Testament text is the St. Athanasius Academy Septuagint. So it skips, it says, verse 7, if you see the oppression of the poor and the violation of judgment and righteousness in the land, do not marvel at the matter, for there is a high official to watch over a high official and higher ones over them. Moreover, the abundance of the earth is for all. Even a king depends on work in the field. And then this is, but that's verse 7 and 8. Oh, okay. Huh. So it must skip a verse because, moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. That's verse 9 here. But it's verse 8 here. So which verse do they skip? Maybe they combine 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on, let me see. I got to go back a page. Do not be hasty with your mouth and do not let your heart be quick. keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. Oh. Okay. Okay, it's not skipping anything. They have a verse 17 on chapter 4, and verse 17 of chapter 4 in the Septuagint is verse 1 of chapter 5 in the King James. So it's not skipping anything. And this is why, so it's really not any different. I thought it was skipping, but it's not skipping. It's just, its versification is different. This is why I don't like versification. Because, yeah, we didn't even start doing versification until the 1300s. We didn't start chapters until, I think, 800. I can't remember when we started doing chapters. I guess I'm kind of okay with chapters, but when this happens, the problem with versification is if I tell you go to chapter 5 verse 1, depending on whether you go to the Septuagint or the Masoretic, chapter 5 verse 1 is going to be two different things. Because chapter 5 verse 1 here is chapter 4 verse 17 here. That's interesting. See, we're doing heuristics. Is that what that's called? Okay. Where was I? Let's just keep going. Nothing. It didn't skip over anything. I was curious if there was like an extra verse in the King James that this one skipped. And then I was curious why it would have skipped it. But it didn't. That's not what happened. All that happened is they did their chapters and verses differently. In this situation, I'm sure there's other situations where it's different. Septuagint is Greek Old Testament. I know. Re-examination. But this specifically, this version that I have is the St. Athanasius Septuagint or something like that. It says it on the first page. Prepared on the auspices St. Athanasius Academy of Orthodox Theology. Old Testament text, St. Athanasius Academy Septuagint. The text of the St. Athanasius Academy Septuagint, SAAS, may be quoted or reprinted without prior written permission with the following qualifications. Oh, this is actually interesting because you know what? I was worried that I couldn't read the Septuagint on stream. Not that I'd care too much about a copyright, but they could, if I just was reading out of the Septuagint, they could technically, or out of this, if I'm reading out of this, they could technically hit me with a copyright. Because this is from 2008, whereas the King James, I could read it all day because it's older than, I don't know, I forget what it's called, but it's older than the copyright protections or whatever. You know, like I could play Beethoven and it's not going to get copyrighted because it's old. If it's older than a 100 years or something like that. But this is modern. I was curious what they would have left out. They didn't leave anything out. It's just changed. It's a different chapters and verses. But it says right here, I can quote this or reprint it without written permission with the following qualifications. Up to including 1,000 verses may be quoted in printed form as long as the verses quoted amount to less than 50% of a complete book of the Bible and make up less than 50% of the total work in which they are quoted. All SAAS quotations must conform accurately to the SAA text. Any use of the SAAS text must include the proper acknowledgments as follows. Scripture taken from the St. Athanasius Academy Septuagint, copyright 2008 by St. Athanasius, blah, blah, blah. However, when quotations are used in church bulletins, orders of service, Sunday school lessons, church newsletters, and similar works in the course of religious instruction or services at a place of worship or other religious assembly, the following notice may be used at the end of each quotation. SAAS. I don't like that they do that. I don't like that. Like, how are you going to put a copyright on scripture? I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. They literally have like legal jargon on the first page of this Bible telling me that I'm not allowed to, I have to put I have to if I were just to read this on stream and I didn't put in my description this exact text right here, copyright 2008 by you can't copyright scripture. What the? Come on now. Now notice, do you know where that doesn't say that at? It doesn't say that on the first page of a King James Bible, just so you know. Then copyright the translation, but not scripture. They copyright the translation. Yeah, I know. But still, I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not saying I don't like the translation. I just don't. I don't know. Like, why would you do that? I don't know. Anyway. Anyway. I'm getting sidetracked. Where were we? We're at 5:9. And also, that's not an attack on orthodoxy. If anybody hears that and they're like, oh, he's attacking orthodoxy. I'm not attacking orthodoxy. I'm just attacking Thomas Nelson Publishing House. I'm not even attacking Athanasius College or whatever. I'm specifically saying Thomas Nelson. You know what else is funny? It says $50. This is supposed to be $50. I got it on Amazon for I got it as a Christmas gift, but it was only $25. So they're not even selling it at retail price on Amazon. Anyway, that's not a critique on orthodoxy. That's just the publishing house. It's kind of weird to me. Anyway, verse 8, verse 9, moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them. And what good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholding of them with their eyes? The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. This is true. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet. That's so true. That's so true. Sometimes I just wish I could just sleep for 24 hours and just not get out of bed. But I can't do that because when I do that, my back ends up hurting for the next 3 days. If I take a break from the gym or if I lay in bed too long or sleep too long, recently I slept for 13 hours. And it wasn't even sleeping the whole time. I would just lay in bed and then fall back asleep and then lay in bed and wake up, lay in bed, fall asleep. And then I was sore for 2 days. My back was all messed up. Can't be sleeping like that. But yes, the sleep of a laboring man is sweet. This is true. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail. And he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor which he may carry away in his hand. Came into this earth with nothing, you're going to leave with nothing. Based. And this also is a sore evil, that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profit hath he that hath labored for the wind? All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he hath much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion. Every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God. For he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart. He shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart. I like that part. Chapter 6. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men. A man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul of all that he desireth, yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. If a man beget 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be good, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he. For he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. Moreover, he hath not seen the sun, nor known anything. This hath more rest than the other. Yea, though he live 1,000 years, twice told, yet hath he seen no good. Do not all go to one place? All the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. For what hath the wise more than the fool? What hath the poor that knoweth to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This is also vanity and vexation of the spirit. You're going to have to explain that one to me. Re-examination. Ecclesiastes 6, 1 through 9. I got a Steve. Thomas Milhouse Nilsson, you get back here, younger man. Milhouse. Ecclesiastes 6, 1 through 9 highlights the futility of accumulating wealth and experience long life if one lacks the ability to enjoy them. Labeling this vanity and a severe evil, Solomon argues that true satisfaction cannot be found in material possessions alone, urging contentment with what one has rather than endless, insatiable desire. Okay. So it kind of says the same thing they've all said. They find their satisfaction only in God. Okay, yeah. Well, that's basically the theme of every chapter so far. Okay. That which has, verse 10, and there's one of the little, one of those little symbols, which means it's like a new thought here, or a new writing. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with him that is might. Sorry, I'm reading this horrible. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. Seeing there be many things that increase vanity, what is man the better? For who knoweth what is good for man in this life, all the days of his vain life, which he spendeth as a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? God. Chapter 7. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. The day of death is better than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Woo-hoo-hoo, so true. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance of the heart, by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, and mirth means joy. This is very pessimistic, you know. Oh my God, shut up. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. You should listen to this, Chris Terry. You're going to need to hear this, okay? It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Yep. For as the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. I love when people say, oh, but it says, when people always come at Jesse Lee Peterson because he says one of his main things is you need to do away with all your anger. You need to overcome anger and have no anger in you. And then people will always call and say, no, what about righteous anger? What about Jesus was angry when he flipped over the tables? What about be angry and sin not? Cherry picking. If you read that whole chapter, it's telling you how to overcome anger. It's saying basically when you're a baby Christian and you're trying to overcome anger, you be angry and you sin not. A thief should get a job so that his hands stay busy so he doesn't steal. An angry person should try to be, they're still going to be angry, but don't act on it. But that doesn't mean that anger is good, because it goes on to say, do away with all anger. That's just the first step. The first step is to be angry and sin not. But eventually you can completely overcome your anger, because an angry man is a murderer. An angry man is a fool. It says a couple verses after it says be angry and sin not, it says do away with all anger and wrath. JS is reading the words of the preacher today. The preacher Solomon, Ecclesiastes. Yep. Which, I don't know. He never calls himself the preacher, but, well, except here, which it's obviously Solomon, because he's the king of, he's the son of David and the king. So now he's got his preacher hat on. In Proverbs, he's got his, like, philosopher wisdom hat on. And this one, he's got his preacher hat on. And then sometimes he's got his king hat on. And then Song of Solomon, he's got his, like, his romance novel hat on. Ecclesiastes is my favorite book in there. Okay. The verse must only be talking about sinful anger. God is angry with the wicked. Yeah, but God's wrath is not man's wrath. We're not supposed to be angry. Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry, for anger resteth in the bosom of fools. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. Reexamination's about to do the thing where he justifies anger. Don't do it. Don't do it. Stop it. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a no-no. I agree. God's wrath is not man's wrath. Yes. Vengeance is for the Lord. We should hate Satan and sin. Yeah. But we can hate it without anger. You can hate with love. The Bible doesn't tell you not to be angry. You know that much. I just quoted you like 4 different places where it says specifically to do away with all anger, bitterness, and wrath. An angry man is a murderer. An angry man is a fool. Never trust an angry person. Don't make friends with an angry person. Like literally hundreds of times. So you don't know what you're talking about, Chris Terry. But I get it. I get it. I get it. We're fallen men, so we want to justify our anger. We want to say, but Jesus was angry, so I can be angry. Righteous anger. Righteous anger. It's righteous anger. Okay. Just keep justifying anger. That's crazy. Say not thou. You guys do what you want to do. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to justify being angry. But if you want to, you can. I'm not your preacher. I'm not your teacher. Do what you want to do. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Consider the work of God, for who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? Who can make that straight which he hath made crooked? Is that implying that God made some things crooked? And what does crooked mean there? Interesting. In the day of prosperity, be joyful, but in the day of adversity, consider God also hath set the one over against the other, to the end that man should find nothing after him. All things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his wickedness. Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldst thou destroy thyself? Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldst thou die before thy time? It is good that thou shouldest take hold of this. Yea, also from this withdraw not thine hand, for he that feareth God shall come forth of them all. Wisdom strengtheneth the wise more than 10 mighty men which are in the city. For there is not a just man upon earth that doeth good and sinneth not. Also take no heed unto all words that are spoken, lest thou hear thy servant curse thee. For oftentimes also thine own heart knoweth that thou thyself likewise hast cursed others. All this have I proved by wisdom. I said, I will be wise, but it was far from me. That which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it out? I applied mine heart to know and to search and to seek out wisdom and the reason of things, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Dude, Solomon's always talking about women. You could tell that that's his weakness, which is a common theme for a lot of men in the Bible. Behold, this I have found. Behold, this I have found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account. Is this the right page, or are they sticking together? Okay. Counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man, oh, this is one of my favorite verses right here. This is one of my favorite verses. I quote this all the time. Which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. Hold on. Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Behold, this I have found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. And it's talking about I applied my heart to know the reason of wickedness, even foolish and madness. Bitter than death, the woman whose heart is snares in it. A just man. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. In all my days of seeking, I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. I'm not going to read your prattle. I'm not going to read your Hebrew Israelite prattle. Send a super chat if you want me to read your comment. And I don't even ask for super chats during the Bible study, but according to him, I'm not a Christian, so if he wants me to read his comments, he has to send a super chat. Everybody else, don't worry about it. I don't need super chats during this. Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions. Chapter 8, the inequalities of life. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. I counsel thee to keep the king's commandment, and that in regard of the oath of God, be not hasty to go out of his sight. Stand not in an evil thing, for he doeth whatsoever pleaseth him. Where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, what doest thou? Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Because to every purpose there is time and judgment. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him. For he knoweth not that which shall be, for who can tell him when it shall be? There is no man that hath power over the Spirit to retain the Spirit, neither hath he power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war, neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. All this have I seen and applied my heart unto every work that is done under the sun. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt. And so I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of the holy, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. This is also vanity. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. There is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. Then I commended mirth, because a man hath no better thing under the sun than to eat and to drink and to be merry. For that shall abide with him of his labor the days of his life, which God giveth him under the sun. When I applied mine heart to know wisdom and to see the business that is done upon the earth, for also there is that neither day nor night seeth sleep with his eyes. Then I beheld all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun. Because though a man labor to seek it out, yet he shall not find it. Yea, farther, though a wise man think to know it, yet shall he not be able to find it. Let's read some chats. Let's read chats from everybody except for the radical guy. The radical black Hebrew Israelite guy. Revelation 2:6, but to that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitanes, which I also hate. Yeah, but I already said hate has nothing to do with anger. I hate sin too, but I'm not angry about it. I don't have time to be angry about it. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. Anger can be righteous. JLP doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, address me, because I'm saying the same thing. But you don't have to address JLP. I'm saying the same thing. It's okay. You can keep defending anger all you want, but it's foolish. That's fine. I don't agree with you. I'm never going to agree with you. I just think you're wrong. And I don't know why you would want to defend anger. It's funny. It's funny how that triggers people, actually. It makes me laugh. It triggers people so much. People have been calling him for 30 years complaining about that. Constantly. All the Bible thumper Christians, they all call in and they complain, and then they cherry pick verses and they complain, and they'll go to their death defending anger. And all right, have fun with that. You do that. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather do away with all anger, wrath, and bitterness. See, everybody likes to read Ephesians 4:26, but then they skip 4:31. Let all, not some, not half, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. Being angry is giving place to the devil. Wow. But it's cool. You can, if you want to defend anger, that's fine. I don't think that's a good idea, but do what you want to do. If your kid would, yeah, these are, come on. That's you can do the right thing without anger. You can be authoritative, you can be loud. Um I mean, you would probably be angry if that something like that happened. I mean, we would all probably be angry if something like that happens. That doesn't make it right. Anyway, I'm not going to keep arguing this. Defend anger all you want. Go ahead, be angry. Be angry and sin not. Go ahead. Keep doing it. An angry man is a fool. What else is people saying? First time I agree with. Oh, I'm not reading his comments. If you think you were. Okay. Why am I reading Marilyn's comments either? All right. I'm just going to stop reading everybody's comments. Chapter 9. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. I got to get through 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 chapters. Oh, these are short chapters. 4 chapters in 30 minutes. We can do it. For all this I consider in my heart, even to declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of God. No man knoweth either love or hatred by all that is before them. All things come alike to all. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good and to the clean, and to the unclean, to him that sacrificeth and to him that sacrificeth not. As is the good, so is the sinner. As is the good, so is the sinner. And he that sweareth, as he that feareth an oath. This is an evil among all things that are done under the sun. And there is one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart while they live. And after that, they go to the dead. For to him that is joined to all the living there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. That seems like the is joined to all the living there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. The living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. Neither have they any more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. Go thy way, eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, for God now accepteth thy works. Let thy garments be always white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun all the days of thy vanity. For that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest. I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill. But time and chance happeneth to them all. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men, snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. There was a little city, and few men within it, and there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of wise men are heard in quiet, more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. The words of wise men are heard in quiet, more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. I like that whole thing right there. There was found a poor wise man, and by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered him. The poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. Yeah. Yep. Are you streaming tonight? No. What the? I can't. Okay, we got. So I guess everybody's just defending anger. Yeah, I don't care about that. Chapter 10. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. What? Hold on. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. What's an apothecary? Apothecary is like a herbalist. It's saying basically a bad apple spoils the bunch, or I think that's what it's saying. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. Basically, if your reputation is wisdom, if you're honorable and wise, but then you get into some folly, it ruins everything. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart at his left. Yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it. And whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. If the iron be blunt, and he do not whet the edge, then must he put to more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Money answereth all things. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Is there another translation of that? I closed my other Bible. A little poison. Yeah. Yes, that's what I was saying earlier about that other verse. One apple spoils the bunch. Curse not the. A feast is made for. What is this? 10:19. That's odd. There's probably a different translation here. Money answereth all things. Instructs believers to find. No, stop. Ephesians 10:19. Why is it showing me 6:10 through 19? Cause believers to round God's withstand spiritual evil, often referred. Oh, I'm still looking at Ephesians, not that's why. I have Ephesians, not Ecclesiastes. A feast is made for laughter, and wine makes life merry, but money is the answer for everything. That's NIV. Highlights that while pleasure, food and wine makes life enjoyable, money is the practical earthly means to secure those pleasures and meet daily needs. It acknowledges the utility of wealth in a fallen world, often interpreted in context as either a pragmatic observation of life's necessities or a commentary on the foolish pursuit of pleasure. What does it mean that money is the answer for everything? Okay, so Ecclesiastes, money solves everything. Money answers everything. Troll in chat? Oh. Oh. They have a cell phone and they're on YouTube and they happen to find my channel and they have a PayPal. But yeah, they're struggling. Okay. Don't send that person money. And also, quit begging for money in my chat. I'm not even accepting. Well, if somebody sends them, but I'm not even asking for money in this. So don't come in my chat begging for money. You can go in timeout for 10 minutes. I get it. People need help. But I don't believe that. Don't send that person money. I don't know who that is. I'm not trying to laugh at a poor person, but I think that's probably a scam. So don't do it. Let me see something real quick. Channel is weird. I don't know. It might actually be a real person. But if they're just going into random YouTube channels putting their PayPal and begging for money. Nope. Looks like a Nigerian prince. We need a spam can that says scam. Yeah. Everyone's supposed to send me the money. When in doubt, YouTube live chat. Huh? Oh. What's in the live chat? What happened? What do you mean, when in doubt, YouTube live chat? There is no Ephesians 10. I know, it's Ecclesiastes. Which Bible are you reading? King James? Yes. Right now I'm reading about this money answers everything. It's Ecclesiastes 10:19. So context is king. Any biblical, I'm not a pastor, nor do I claim to be. Any biblical scholar will tell you, looking at the verses surrounding the one you were starting is imperative, blah, blah, blah. Ecclesiastes begins with preacher. What are you, a lamb, where your king is child? Solomon endorsing the evil. Is Solomon endorsing the idea that money is the answer for all life sorrows? I don't think so. He's making practical observations. Practically observe the need for money to meet the demands for food, shelter, clothing. And also, he talks a lot about not being lazy and working hard and then enjoying your bread, enjoying your wine. A laborer, his sleep is sweet. So, yeah, I think this is just a pragmatic, money is the answer for all things. Basically, if you're going to need to make some money to pay your rent, buy your food. Not nowadays, you can just get on welfare. So I don't know if they had that back in Solomon's day. Peeps begging for money in chat is whack. Yeah, I feel bad if they seriously need help, but why are you just scrolling through random channels on YouTube and you have a PayPal and you have internet, but you're struggling that bad? Like, come on. No, of course that's a scam. Don't send that person anything. Yeah. You notice I'm not even grifting. I don't even grift in these streams. You see there's no dono bar. Where was I? Now, once we finish reading the Bible and I start doing a different morning show, then we're going to have a dono bar. But right now, no dono bar. Some people still send super chats, and it's not like I refund them, but but I'm not. No. Where was I? We're on 10:19. Yeah. Money answereth all things. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. For a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. 2 chapters left. Gotta hurry. Chapter 11. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7, and also to 8. For thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if the tree fall toward the south or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. Truly, the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man live many years and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity. Chapter 12, last chapter. Only grift for souls. Soul grifter. Soul grifter. That sounds like a Mortal Kombat character. Soul grifter. Fatality. Your fatality will be like you rise their soul up to heaven and then money dumps down. Chapter 12. I guess not money, but I don't know. New nickname, Soul Grifter. Chapter 12 is awesome. One of the most grand chapters of profundity and reflection of life. Chapter 12 is the chapter 12 is the one that it says here, conclusion. Fear God and keep his commandments. Common theme. Chapter 12. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. Or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed, and sought out and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goads, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. And that, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. And that is Song of Sol, or not Song of Sol, the Ecclesiastes. I had Google Play points. You can spend Google Play points on super chats. Rev's new VK character. Okay. Ecclesiastes is done. I like the time for everything and everything in its time, which I'm sure when I was a kid I would have told you that was in Ecclesiastes, but off the top of my head I would not have remembered that anymore. Now I'm going to remember. I didn't know you got super chat points. I didn't know you get points for. I didn't know that was a thing. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Nice. Okay. Next, we got Song of Solomon. I'm not going to read that today. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. Maybe we'll do Song of Solomon tomorrow. That's an interesting one. It's really short. I wonder what's. Oh, I can't do Song of Solomon and Isaiah. Maybe we'll just do a short stream tomorrow. Well, it'll probably turn into a long stream because I'm gonna go over all the different. Some people say, I would say Revelation is the toughest book to interpret, but a lot of scholars say Song of Solomon is the hardest book to interpret, and that even like scholars and theologians and stuff, there's always been a lot of debate about Song of Solomon, and I don't think anybody really understands it. A lot of people, and I might be one of them, think that it well, no, I'm not going to say it shouldn't be in the Bible, but a lot of people throughout history, Jews, and when they were canonizing stuff, there's always been debate about whether it should really even be in here. I'm okay with it being in here because I think there is no matter how you look at it, I think there is a lesson and a positive message in it. But some people think that it shouldn't have been included in here because it was just Solomon writing basically like a romance story. But anyway, we'll go over all that tomorrow. I've done many probably in the past 3 years I've probably researched Song of Solomon more than any other book. Or either that or Job or Isaiah is what I've been researching the most over the last couple years. Doesn't mean that I haven't researched other books, but I just did those when I was younger. You're right. Revelation is the hardest. Yeah. But a lot of people would argue that Song of Solomon is. There's that. Well, okay. Well, anyway, I guess we'll do that tomorrow. Anyway, what time is it? 12:32. That's the only way it can be inspired. Why? Why can't it be about relationships? Why can't it be about just marriage and sex? That's not true what you just said. Well, yeah. Okay. Oh Lord. Anyway. Look at my colored maps. I'm surprised they have colored maps in this Bible. All right, I'm tired. Yeah, I never said that it doesn't teach us. Well, not necessarily that it teaches us about God, but that it teaches us about God's plan for marriage and love and sex. Let me see. You guys are what was I thinking about? Is there not a right way to be married that's inspired by God? Anyway, I don't where's my bookmark? Oh, it's right here. Dang, I gotta make another thumbnail already. A Song of Solomon thumbnail. Oh, we're just talking about other streams the whole time? Okay, cool. Have a good day, guys. God bless everybody. I'm out. Peace. Just gonna spit the whole chat's just gonna be okay. All right. You guys have no couth. No chat etiquette. Where's there to go? Close that. See your Orthodox Study Bible notes. Mark 6. Recognizes other marriages. Recognizes other marriages. Notes on Mark 6. Documentation recognizes other marriages. What do you mean? Thumbnail is the strangest name for small side pictures of streams. I didn't make up the name. I don't know who came up with that. Why do they call it? I don't know why they call it that. I don't know. Recognizes other marriages. Like gay marriages? What do you mean? Is there not a right way to do marriage? Other marriages not officiated by the church are still marriages. So like gay marriages? Would you say that a gay marriage is not lawful to have your brother's wife? I don't know what you're saying. No one here supports gay marriage. I know, but I don't know what you're saying. You're saying read your notes, other marriages. Heck no. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you're coming from. All I said was Song of Solomon could be about marriage and sex and still be inspired. Marriage and sex as commanded by God, like the way that God would want it, not the way that the world would want it. Marriages not performed by the EO Church aren't real. Okay, but I don't know what that has to do with anything I said. That's why I'm confused. Mark 6 debunks that. I never said anything like that. I don't know. There's some disconnect here. I don't know what you're talking about. I never said anything like that. My point was, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Why is it so hard to read my thing today? Is the text smaller or something? I feel like my text is smaller than usual. Wonder if I can make that bigger. I bet I can. We're going to miss you this evening. Auntie, when do I ever stream at night on a Thursday night? Wednesday night? When have I ever done that? What are you talking about? Oh, Lord. I'm trying to read this one. God sanctifies embodied love, that marriage reflects the gospel, and that covenant love is passionate and faithful. Okay. All right, guys. Where are we going? I don't know why I'm asking you guys. You pick the same channel every day. My ear hurts. Uneducated economist. What did we do yesterday? Anchor Baby? Do Jim today. Yeah, deep talks are bad for chat feeds. I know, that's why sometimes I just ignore you guys. Cuz all right. We'll go to Jim Bob. I'm going to go to bed. Have a good day, everybody. Oh, by the way, Andrew Wilson was on Joe Rogan. Well, the episode hasn't aired yet, but apparently they recorded it like yesterday, which means it should be premiering within the next couple days. That'll be interesting. I would like to review it, but the problem is it's hard to review Joe Rogan's show because you got to pause like every 2 seconds. Jim Bob does it, but he like zooms it in a whole lot and then he pauses it like every 2 seconds. So it's almost like you're not even reviewing it. To get through a 3-hour review of it, it would take you like 12 hours with the amount that you have to pause it. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Maybe I'll try it on Saturday, but that should be interesting. Anyway, there was one other thing I was going to say, but it's not. What was I going to say? Oh, something relating to politics. Then I usually won't bring up political stuff in these streams, but it was relevant. But I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. But anyway, it's 2 hours and 40. Oh, it's out right now. Oh, really? I did not know that. Well, I checked last night, so okay, cool. All right, well, God bless you guys. Have a good one. I'm out. Peace. Go put some chairs in Jim Bob's chat.